Greetings, everyone. Mrs. Wudomski here. I'm going to go over the sewing project choices / fashion project that you can do for LEAP this summer. The practice of sewing, as it is using thread and needle to attach various kinds of material, has dated back at least 20,000 years. Sewing is practically a universal occurrence. It's all around the world. The actual beginnings of it stretch back in the beginning of history. It predates the weaving of cloth by many centuries and is used to stitch together hides, furs, and bark for clothing and other uses. Early sewing needles were made from bone, wood, or natural needles taken from plants, as Native Americans did with the agave plant. The earliest verified sewing needles made from iron date back to the 3rd century BCE and were found in what is now Germany. Chinese archaeologists report finding a complete set of iron needles and thimbles in a tomb dating back to the Han Dynasty in China. This is the earliest known example of a thimble in history. The thimble was developed to assist early sewers to push needles through the thick hides of furs, and was made from bone, wood, leather, sometimes glass or porcelain. Later, thimbles began to be made from metal, and before the 18th century, dimples in the thimble had to be punched into it by the hand. The thimble has also become an object of beauty, with thimbles made from precious and semi-precious stones and precious metals. The first thread was made from plant fibers and animal sinew, which was used to sew together hides and furs for clothing, blankets, and shelters. Later, it was found that fibers from plants and animals could be spun together to make thread. The ancient Egyptians made thread by spinning these fibers together, and devised methods of drying the thread using berries and plant matter. In China and Japan, silk fibers taken from the cocoon of a silkworm were spun to make very fine thread. For most of the history of sewing, it is done by hand. From the simplest stitches to ornate decorative work has been done with a needle, thread, and a steady hand. It remained so until the first patent for the machine that emulated hand sewing in 1790 in England. It is not known whether there was a machine built from the 1790 patent. The first functioning sewing machine was issued a patent to Bartholomew Thiemener in France in 1830. It used a single thread and a hooked needle to make a chain stitch similar to the one used in hand embroidery. The inventor was nearly killed when enraged French tailors rioted and burned down his garment factory because they feared the machine would cause unemployment. In 1846, the American Elias Howe was issued a patent for this machine, but the mass production of the sewing machine did not happen until the 1850s, when Isaac Singer built the first truly successful sewing machine, with needle, thread, thimble, and machine. The art and craft of it has not only formed items for use and comfort, sewing has helped form civilization itself. So you can see sewing has a very long stretching history, and you will see forms of sewing all around the world. For our LEAP adventure in sewing, you have a couple of things that you can do. We have a choice of a fashion design project, so you can learn about fashion design and how to kind of create designs on different fashion figures. You have male and female, paper dolls, and dress-up girls. Once you open these, it'll have a copy for you, and then you can print it and draw in the traditional hand drawing, or you can use computer design and design and decorate on the computer. Your other choice is to do a hand or machine sewing project, which in this presentation you have everything you need. There's fabric masks, reusable shopping bags from a t-shirt, or teddy bears. You're going to use this different slideshow to go through and see the different projects. Once you decide on a project, if you want to make it, then you're going to go to this page to get sewing knowledge. There are some specific things that you have to learn in order to sew, and this little PowerPoint provides you with everything. So there's videos of how to do different things. You can learn that. And then you will go back to the projects and use the links and the different things to go through and create the projects. I can't wait to see what you make. Remember to upload any pictures or videos of things that you've done to Google Classroom. And I'm excited to see what you have.